Hi everyone! My name is Arlie Dudar, and I am a doula practicum student at College of the Rockies in Cranbrook, BC. And this is video number 4 in my 6-part video series on how a doula can help you have a better birth. So, in this one we're going to talk about some prenatal complementary and alternative activities that you can do during your pregnancy that will ultimately help promote your relaxation, reducing tension, and ultimately increasing your chances of having a vaginal birth. Okay, but before we get started, I want to talk to you about my last video. I just have one thing to touch on that I am not sure if I mentioned, and I just want to reiterate it. So, in video number 3, we talked about birth plans. What is a birth plan? What do you do with it? Who do you show it to? What's it for? And I talked about it like a route to your labor and birth. Okay, so it is your preferred route that you're laying out, and it is you setting the general tone for your labor and birth. Now, that being said, it's your plan A, and I encourage you to have a plan B and a plan C, and then maybe a plan D. And by that, I just mean understand the medical interventions, because there is a possibility that something may come up where a medical intervention is necessary. And if that's the case, I would hate for anyone to be so dead set on that's the way I want my birth to be, and I'm not doing anything else, and I'm absolutely not doing XYZ because I've heard it isn't good. I want you to be fully informed, so go through some of those medical interventions with your midwife or your OBGYN, or a doula can also help educate you about that. Doulas are very educated about interventions. As you'll see in my next video, we're going to talk about medical interventions. Go through those different interventions and talk about, what they are, what the risks are, and in which situation would it be necessary. And if you have to do them, how your doula can actually help you do them safely, and how your doula can help support you through them. Okay? So with that out of the way, we are going to start talking about your complementary and alternative practices. All right. So we've got about 6 or 7 here. I'm going to start with prenatal yoga. So prenatal yoga and meditation, which is my next one, kind of go hand in hand. But if you have done yoga, then you know just how beneficial it can be, right? It helps you sleep better, it helps reduce your stress, it helps you relax, it can help relieve your sore muscles, and it can increase your flexibility and actually increase your strength. So it's really, really beneficial. And so it's got all those regular benefits, plus that flexibility and strength. If you're doing prenatal yoga every week, or a couple times a week, or even a couple times a month throughout your pregnancy, you are going to work at that flexibility and that strength and that endurance as your body is changing. So you're actually helping your muscles as you're growing your baby, because your body's not going to be the same at 2 months as it is at 8 months, right? So in Cranbrook, there is one yoga studio called Inner Roar Yoga. She doesn't currently do prenatal yoga, but she has several videos on her website, so I encourage you to go to her website. I will link it in the description section, so you can cut and paste that into your browser and go check it out. She's got several prenatal yoga videos that you can do from home, comfort of your own home, or you can do it with a friend, or you can do it with your partner. So those are all good options. And however often you do it, it just gets more beneficial the more you do it. Okay? But the big thing about prenatal yoga is think about your hips in all of those situations. You're in all of those poses, those yoga poses really help to open up your hips. It really helps to build your pelvic floor muscles, and it really helps you breathe. And so, speaking of breathing, I'm going to link this into meditation. So a lot of people think of meditation and they think, I just have to sit with my eyes closed and think of nothing for, 10 minutes or 30 minutes. And it's really hard. Yeah, it is. But it's not, meditation, I kind of think of it as like an elastic term. It's an elastic kind of term. And to me, meditation is turning off your brain for a certain amount of time and letting your thoughts just float. So they're there, but you are not engaging with them. You're not grabbing onto them. Your worries still exist. Everything still exists, but you're not letting it get you. Just for 10 minutes a day. And you also don't necessarily have to meditate while you're sitting still. You can meditate while you're doing yoga, believe it or not, because you are being completely mindful when you're doing yoga. You are, focusing on your breath. You're paying attention to your muscle groups. You're saying, oh, my feet, there's a little bit of a twinge in my foot, or like, oh, my back doesn't like that, or, oh my God, I can't bend that far. So you are being mindful while you're doing yoga, and in a way, it's meditation. What really matters is that you are breathing, that you are giving your body a chance to relax, that you are giving your emotions and your thoughts time to process and just dissipate. And you can even make it like a social thing. So my mom actually met her group of friends that she still is very tight with today while she was pregnant with my older brother. And she met these women and she meditated with them once a week, and then she would meditate almost every day. She meditated and just took 10 or 20 minutes and just sat and had her eyes closed, and she was very, very good at that, just sitting and breathing and not thinking about anything, I'm sure. But you also don't have to be in complete silence, because I know for me, silence really gets my brain a-going. So you can put music on. You can put really relaxing, steady music on. You can chant if you want to, if chanting is a thing that you like. There's some really excellent chakra meditations available on YouTube for you to check out. And whatever you end up doing with your meditation is going to be beneficial for you. What really matters is that you're taking time for yourself, you're taking time to breathe, you're bringing oxygen to your tissues, and if you make it a social thing, even better. You meditate with your friends for half an hour, and then you sit around and have lunch and talk about how your life is going. If it's a group of women who are pregnant, then that's even cooler. Then you can share and you can exchange and you can, trade wisdom, because your community is your strongest resource. All right, that's my soapbox. I'm going to get off it now. All right, we talked about prenatal yoga. We talked about meditation. Next, I'm going to talk about prenatal belly dancing. So belly dancing is a practice that is found in many different cultures. In Hawaiian culture, in East Indian culture, in some indigenous cultures. I'm sure there are, hundreds more places and cultures where people practice a similar kind of dance. What really matters is that you're undulating your hips. You're moving in kind of a figure 8 motion. This is my figure 8. See it? Yeah. So you want to be moving very gently, very smoothly, and you're doing actually quite a bit. It seems like you're really not doing very much while you're belly dancing, but for one thing, it can help you relax. It can help you loosen up your muscles. It can help you strengthen your pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles while simultaneously you're loosening up other groups of muscles. So you're being, you're strengthening some and you're loosening others. And you are learning to go with the flow. Kind of literally go with the flow. It can help you relax. It can actually help you decrease stress because it's fun. It's fun to belly dance. And if you can go to a class and do belly dancing, or if you find some excellent videos, I know that Wild Birth, W-Y-L-D, Birth in Kimberly has some good belly dancing, prenatal belly dancing videos. I can also link those if you'd like. That kind of just go over the basics with you. And if you do that for a few minutes every day, if you do that a couple times a week for a half hour each, like just a little bit, and doing it regularly throughout your pregnancy so that you're continuing to build your pelvic floor muscles, you are continuing to learn how to relax, and you are continuing to just have fun. Because fun, like stress and fun don't really go together unless you're in like a haunted house or on a roller coaster, which I don't really do, so I can't relate. So that's prenatal belly dancing. The last thing I want to say about it is that, kind of going along with the fact that it's super fun, it can also help increase your self-esteem. And so that, goes without saying, but I just want to bring that up because your body is so powerful and it is so strong and you are so able. And when you do things that bring you joy, things that make you feel good about yourself, things that increase your sense of self-efficacy, you can ultimately, you're believing in yourself more and your body responds to that. Because when your labor comes, you might have a sense of, it's scary, but you might have this counter sense that's like, yeah, I can do this. I am strong. I am able. And look how powerful I am, that I am going to be able to birth this baby no problem. And no matter what happens, you maintaining that sense of self-esteem, that sense of inner power is unbeatable. All right. So that's prenatal belly dancing. All right. And so we've talked about prenatal yoga, we've talked about meditation, we've talked about belly dancing. Next, we're going to talk about acupuncture. So people do acupuncture for a variety of reasons. They can do it for stopping smoking, they can do it for stress relief, they can do it for, different medical conditions. You can find somebody who is practiced in traditional Chinese medicine who is an expert at acupuncture. Now, that being said, when you want to go for acupuncture, be sure to tell your practitioner that you are pregnant, because there may be some areas that they will avoid. People sometimes get a little bit concerned that some complementary and alternative medicines can induce pregnancy, and you can actually use acupuncture. Everybody's different, but it has been known to induce your labor. So just keep that in mind. If you've got a baby who is maybe post-due and you think like, I want to induce naturally, acupuncture may help you do that. Just be sure to talk to a professional about that, okay? It can also help you, it can help shorten your labor if you really want to have acupuncture while you're in labor. But prior to that, while you're just doing you're in your prenatal phase and you think, well, maybe I'll try acupuncture, do, because it can help you with a lot of things. It can help you when you're going through your morning sickness phase. If you are having like a lot of nausea and vomiting, it can help you reduce that. It can help you reduce your reflux and your heartburn, which is obviously a problem because your baby is pushing on your stomach, and people have a lot of reflux while they are pregnant. It can help you reduce your anxiety. It can help you if you're having prenatal nosebleeds. Actually, a friend of mine was having such bad nosebleeds, and then she ended up going to an acupuncturist, and they helped her reduce them. She still has them a little bit, but they are much better and much less frequent than they were prior to her visit to acupuncture. Okay, they can also help. Acupuncture can also help you with constipation. It can help with your GI motility. It can help you with your circulation problems if you're having dependent edema or heaviness in your legs and like a lot of swelling. Acupuncture can help you bring that down. It can also help with muscle pain. So we'll talk about more ways to deal with muscle pain in a second, but if you're having lower back pain, if you're having sciatica pain, if you're having these pelvic pains as your baby grows and shifts, acupuncture can help you manage that. It can help your body deal with that pain. All right? And there is also some claims that acupuncture can help you turn your baby. So if you've got a breech baby presentation, so that is not head down, but anything else, if it's like a transverse breech, or if it's kind of like a classic breech, or any other kind of position where your baby is not head down, then acupuncture could help you. But just be sure to talk to, again, your OBGYN or your nurse practitioner or your midwife about trying acupuncture, because they may say, yes, but don't do these things. Or maybe go with an acupuncturist who is really practiced with prenatal clients. Okay, so those are a couple things to keep in mind, but overall, it is seen to be a very positive thing. So that's acupuncture. Next we are going to talk about, prenatal chiropractics. Okay, so chiropractors are known to help people realign their skeletal system so that you can have better posture, so that you don't have hunched shoulders like me, so that muscles that may have been really, really tense and scrunched up get to relax a little bit. Muscles that have been really strained also get to relax a little bit because they don't have to strain as much. It can help people if your hips are not in line, then they can chiropractors can help just realign your hips so that your legs are even. It helps with your gait when you're walking. It helps with your knee pain or ankle pain. Lots and lots of benefits, including, of course, back pain and shoulder pain. Okay, so that's in general how a chiropractor can be beneficial. And you might think, well, when I go to the chiropractor, I have to lay face down on the table. Yeah, and you might, and you're pregnant. They may have some other modifications, but you may have to lay face down on the table. But if you go to a chiropractor who is certified through the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association, or the ICPA, there is a database that you can access, and you can see who in your area is ICPA certified. And so here in Cranbrook, there's nobody on the actual database who practices in Cranbrook who is ICPA certified. However, there is a lovely chiropractor in Nelson, and there is also another lovely chiropractor in Fernie, both of whom are ICPA certified. So make sure you double check with that. But if they are, then they can have adjustments to their chiropractor table so that the part where your stomach would go can actually be adjusted to accommodate your growing baby. Okay, so it can accommodate more room in the front. Again, if you have a pregnancy that is higher risk, clarify whether or not it is advisable for you to go see a chiropractor with your OBGYN or your nurse midwife or whoever is helping you. Okay, whoever your practitioner is, just ask them if it's advisable to go see a chiropractor. Generally speaking, it's quite safe. Chiropractors say it's never too early or too late to go see them. In your pregnancy, you can go see them when you're 4 weeks pregnant. You can go see them when you're 36 weeks pregnant. It doesn't really matter. There's some concern whether or not going to the chiropractor can cause preterm birth or miscarriage, but there's not really a lot of evidence to support it. It's particularly beneficial to go see a chiropractor in your 24th to 28th week, and that helps open up your pelvic bowl so that your baby can actually turn and be in a cephalic presentation so that it is able to be head first when it's born. Okay? So we talked about that a little bit. I thought I was going to have a lot more to say, but chiropractic or going to a chiropractor is beneficial. Whether or not you are pregnant, however far along you are, they can help you with your back pain, with your sciatica pain. They can help you, really open up your hips a little bit more, make sure your pelvis is aligned so that there's more room for baby. Okay. Second last thing we're going to talk about is hypnobirthing. So I've had a couple of questions about hypnobirthing, and if people are asking me if I know anything about it. And I can tell you that I'm going to just speak from my own experience for a moment. My mom is actually a hypnotherapist, and so hypnotherapy, which, hypnobirth falls under hypnotherapy, right? Hypnotherapy is not what people fear it is, where they say, oh my God, I'm going to go into a trance and I'm not going to remember what I did and somehow I'm going to be cured and you're going to make me do all kinds of weird stuff. No, that's not the case. In hypnotherapy, if you're a Freudian, which I am, you've got your id, which is like your basic, your primal drives, your ego, which is just generally your thinking brain, and then you've got your superego, which is like you're judging yourself while you're thinking, and you're kind of, you're overseeing everything. That's your superego. It's like very, very concerned about shouldn't I, social actions. So your ego plays a big part in the way that you think. And in hypnotherapy, it allows your ego to take a back seat. And so your subconscious mind can actually come forward and speak. And you can allow your subconscious mind to take the mic, for lack of a better word. And like all therapies, it will work if you believe it will work. Hypnotherapy really, it works because people believe it. They believe it, and they have a high level of trust, and research will tell you that, people are highly suggestible, so they are more likely to be hypnotized, and so they are more likely to have hypnotherapy work for them. Yeah, maybe, absolutely, being more suggestible, but also just having some trust and believing that you can let your ego, your control freak of your mind, just take a step back. Okay, and your ego involves all of your worries and all of your fears and all of the structural societal rules that go around in your brain every day. It allows that to just rest. Okay, so that being said, hypnobirthing, it requires that you practice in the prenatal period. Practice makes perfect. So you're going to practice several times and throughout your pregnancy to really just let your ego rest. And you can do this through breathing, so guided breathing, where you take, 4 seconds in and 5 seconds out, and several 4 seconds in and 5 seconds out, and you just kind of breathe like that. And then your breathing might change, and if you go with a guided hypnotherapist or a hypnobirthing program, then they can guide you through this breathing, where through your breathing you are letting yourself relax. Or you can also do guided imagery. So I've done guided imagery where it's sort of like, going down the steps, and every step you go down you relax even more, and then you get to the bottom of the steps and you're at your subconscious. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. In terms of the imagery portion, you can also imagine that, you're on a beach and you're watching the waves wash up and go out, and every time you breathe, the wave comes up, and every time you breathe out, the wave goes out. You can also have hypnotherapy where you are focusing on your positive thoughts or words or phrases. So various things can help you get to that state of suggestibility, that state of, where your subconscious is really driving the bus. And when this happens, your subconscious has all these things that we don't even know about. So hypnobirthing and hypnotherapy prior to your birth can actually help you decrease fear, because it helps address maybe these past traumas that you had. Maybe it's addressing the stories that you've told yourself or that you've been told that you've internalized, and now you're so scared to give birth because you don't even know, right? So hypnobirthing, through helping you reduce this fear, helps you reduce tension, which in turn helps you reduce pain. And this helps as well while you're actually in labor, because it's working subconsciously for you. It's not even in the forefront of your mind. It's subconscious. And this goes back to when we were talking about non-pharmacological pain management, helping to break that cycle of fear, tension, pain, fear, tension, pain. If you can break it anywhere, then you are already in more control. So it also, the other thing about hypnobirthing specifically is that it helps you work with your body's urges and helps you work with your breath even more. And I will include a website link to hypnobirthingcanada.com. Yes, that's .com. And I will include that in the description section, so you can actually cut and paste that into your browser and then, check it out for yourself and see if maybe there is a hypnobirthing class near you, or if there is something online that you maybe want to take with your partner, or, your doula can help you, can help facilitate that for you. Okay. The last thing I'm going to talk about is not really a prenatal activity, but I do want to mention it here because it is sometimes used actually during labor, and I'm going to talk about the Rebozo. Truth be told, I really didn't know where else to put it, so I just wanted to include it here for you guys because I think it's really important to know about. During labor, you can use something called a Rebozo. And it is a long scarf, essentially, and it's really not stretchy fabric. It's quite broad. It's about, you can get them to be a foot wide or a couple feet wide by, 4 or 5 feet long, and you can use that with your birth partner or your doula to help you, help relieve pain. So your doula can put it underneath your belly, and you can kind of lean forward, and then they can put this counter pressure on. Or you can use it for, a double hip squeeze to help kind of open up your hips a little bit more. Or you can use it as leverage for, for a squat, like a push-pull technique. Or you can use it in something called a hip sift, where it can help you relieve pressure. And for this, I highly encourage you to go to a fellow YouTuber's channel. Her name is Taylor Cleakin. I'm going to include the video link there in the description section so you can check it out for yourself. She talks about 9 different ways that you can use the Rebozo so that you can actually have more pain relief during your labor. Okay, so that is it. Thank you for sticking with me. Today we talked about several different complementary and alternative activities that you can do in the prenatal period. And I hope you found those very beneficial. I'll include all kinds of links in the description section. And next we are going to talk about medical interventions. And I will see you then.